Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another Rookie Card Collector 123 video. In today's episode, we are going to take our second look at some Negro League memorabilia from my Negro League Baseball Collectibles Guide that I self-published back in 2013. Today we're going to look at the 1952-1953 era. This would have been really at the end of the Negro League Baseball time. These are primarily Winter League images. So these are going to be mostly from Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Cuba, and a couple from the US as well. So the first item we're going to look at here is a 1953 Caguas team photo. Photos taken with the ball club sitting in the bleachers, in the stands, full uniform. The Caguas club was important because of the presence of Hank Aaron. He played there in the winter of 53 to 54, the year before he began his major league career with the Milwaukee Braves. The clarity on this image, I apologize, is not very good, so you really can't identify the players on the video here. Aaron is actually sitting in the middle row, just about right in the center of the photo. And one of the earliest Hank Aaron images, again predating his rookie card, Topps 54 rookie card by 1 year. And right above that, we have the next item, which is a 1953 Santurce. I'm sorry, 1952 Santurce. It's actually the 52 to 53 Winter League season again. Santurce was a club in Puerto Rico, and Clemente's very first professional baseball season, 2 years before he would come to the U.S. and play briefly with the Montreal team in the Dodgers farm system before he was signed by the Pirates the next year, 1955, and began his major league career. So this 52 Clemente is his earliest professional baseball image, picturing him on Santurce. Clemente is actually the player right there, where I'm pointing in the photo. Clemente is 19 or 20 years old at that point. And this is actually a really clear image if you own the actual piece. It's a Santurce Team Premium. So this would have been a composite photo of everybody on the ball club during that winter season, and probably purchased at the ballpark stadium. Whereas the Aaron photograph below would have most likely been taken by a photography studio, probably for the purpose of distributing to the team members. So two kind of entirely different mediums there. Next item we're going to look at, this is kind of a unique one. 1952, Roy Campanella put together a Major League All-Star team consisting of all African-American ball players. And they barnstormed against some of the still existing Negro League teams of the era, as well as some other teams across the country in the U.S., amateur teams, semi-pro teams, things like that. Campanella is actually pictured right here in the photo. He was still in the prime of his career at that point. On the Negro League side, we have Hank Thompson, New York Giants, was in there. One of the first Negro Leaguers to play in the National League after Jackie Robinson. From the Negro Leagues, we have Alejandro Pompez, who was an owner slash manager, executive. He began with the Negro Leagues all the way back in the 1920 era with the New York Cubans, and stuck around through the next 3 decades or so. And also Leon Day. Leon Day was playing minor league professional baseball during the 50s. Was a great Negro League pitcher throughout the late 30s and then throughout the entire decade of the 1940s. It appears that this image was autographed by several of the ball players there. It's very light, the signatures, so it's hard to tell if it's just identified by somebody all in the same hand or if they were actually player signed. But most likely a one of one unique piece and really nice item. And above that, we're going to have a dugout photo. This is from the Escogido team, which played in the Dominican Republic. Again, this is the 52-53 Winter League season. This one's going to picture Ray Dandridge, who's sitting on the bench sort of all the way toward the end by himself. And also Bob Thurman, who's sitting on the bench closest to the photographer with his legs up on the dugout steps. Both were Negro League greats. Dandridge is in the Hall of Fame. Bob Thurman is not in the Hall of Fame, but also a Negro League star in the U.S. as well as playing many winter seasons in Latin America. So another Type 1 photo. Next we have a Escogido, again, same Dominican Republic team. We have a team premium. This is also from 1952. And this is going to picture Willard Brown, who's in the Baseball Hall of Fame, one of the biggest Negro League stars, power hitter, one of the top all-around players in all of baseball during the 40s, including the major leagues. He got a very brief tryout in the major leagues in 1947-48 era, around the time Hank Thompson, Larry Doby had come up to the majors. Brown struggled in that very brief period and unfortunately got sent to the minors and never got another major league chance. He went on to play Winter League baseball, though, throughout the early to mid-50s. And again, one of the all-time great power hitters. Howard Easterling is also pictured here. This is toward the very end of his career. He was a Negro League third baseman, one of the best there, made numerous all-star teams during the 1930s and 40s, playing in the U.S. and also played winter ball in various Latin American countries as well. Next up, we have a Chiquitín Cabrera. This is again in 1952. He played for Aguilas. This is a real photo postcard. These were images that were available usually for sale at the ballpark. They were, I wouldn't say mass produced at all, but these were available. They were not just taken for the player or the player's family. These were sold. However they were distributed. I'm guessing sold at the ballparks. And next up on the opposite side of him is, let's see if I can get a better picture. Okay, we have a 1952. This is the Indianapolis Clowns, which was an independent Negro League team at that time. And for part of one season, Henry Aaron played for the Clowns in 52. The Clowns made a series of postcards showing some of the team members. Toni Stone, who was a female ball player, African-American ball player, she's pictured on one of the postcards. There's a showman called Goose Tatum, sort of a Harlem Globetrotters version, but on the baseball side. He appears on one of these postcards. Aaron appears, and I believe there's a couple of others, as well as a couple of team postcards showing the Clowns. But this is a super rare Hank Aaron item. It's a pre-rookie before he joined the Braves. His earliest professional baseball collectible. And there are two of these known, as far as I know. One sold recently for close to $200,000. So these are super high value, and probably not going to come across one, but just in case you ever do, at least you have an idea and know what it is. Next up, we have a 1952 Aguilas. This is the team we saw before with Chickadee and Cabrera. This is a team composite, so you've got about 20, over 20 ball players on there. This would have been one of those premiums that was probably sold at the stadium during games there during that winter season. There's four major Negro League stars on there. I'm going to give you the names. I don't believe any of them four are in the Hall of Fame, but they're all very significant in Negro League history and also Latin American winter ball. So we've got Perucho Cepeda, which is Orlando Cepeda's father. Played in the 30s, 40s, and into the early 50s. We have Alejandro Crespo, another super Cuban baseball player, spent many years in the Negro Leagues, played a lot of winters in Cuba. We have Terrace McDuffie, Negro League pitcher, one of the best Negro League pitchers from the 40s. And Titilo Vargas, who was a terrific Dominican outfielder whose career ran all the way through the 30s, 40s, and well into the 50s. Played about 25 years. So four major stars, very nice item. The clarity is really good on that one. If you actually have the piece in person, you can identify everybody. They're also listed by name underneath the photos. So a really cool piece. And the last thing I'm going to show today is 1950. So this is right at the beginning of the 50s decade. We have a Santurce photograph. Again, this is autographed or possibly just written in somebody's hand with all the names of the players identified. But pictures the guy shaking hands as he's about to step, it looks like, onto home plate after a home run. That's Willard Brown, who we talked about before, all-time great Negro League slugger. Most famously starred for the Kansas City Monarchs during most of the 40s. And Brown is in the Baseball Hall of Fame as well. So that's going to wrap up today's episode. I hope you enjoyed another look at some more Negro League memorabilia. We started from the end of my images with 1954. We're working our way back. We're now at 1950, and then we'll continue going back through the 40s, the 30s, and earlier and earlier. I also have cards, Negro League cards, which are produced in Cuba, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, and Dominican Republic, which we're going to look at some point as well. Probably mix those in. I also have a top 100 Negro League cards of all time list that I published in my book. I'm going to start taking a look at those pretty soon. We'll probably work backwards from 100 down to number 1. And I also have in there a top, I think it's 20 or 25 Negro League players, not yet in the Hall of Fame, but most likely to be selected in the future when the Negro League guys are once again added. So hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.